Hello and welcome back to SpriteGuard Plays HyperRogue. We are actually going to take a pass on the Icy Land today and see if we can get our way into this jungle. And the reason I want to do that is, first of all, to give a little bit of variety, because a lot of these series start the same way, with us just grinding out 25 ice diamonds and 25 phoenix feathers. So I wanted to throw a little bit of a different something in there. I think we'll probably be still doing that, certainly the phoenix feathers. And the overall plan here is to go for the clearing and then for the Lost Mountain. And so we'll be trying to get the treasures that we need for that, which I think is primarily the rubies. I think the rubies unlock both of those, but we might need the ivory tower to unlock the mountain. Because I think usually the way it works is if there's a new mechanic, then you have to unlock the land that introduces that mechanic. So the ivory tower introduced the gravity mechanic, and the jungle introduced the ivy mechanic, and so those are the ones that we have to clear in order to get the overgrown wood and the Lost Mountain. And so, and the Lost Mountain is the one that we need. Oh, I thought that would hit our eagle. Okay, we can just do that. So, we do need other treasures, and so this alchemy lab, I think, will be just fine. I think the desert we passed would have been a better choice, but I was kind of thinking that I wanted to search for a desert when that probably was not the best idea. Excuse me, a crossroads. I am a little bit waking up still. I've had 2 cups of tea, but that doesn't seem to have done quite as much as I would have liked it to. But let's keep searching. For some reason, I always have this feeling like red is slightly better than blue for finding treasures, and I don't really know if there's any grounding to that. I kind of doubt it. I think that they're probably equal, because I think it's just tiles that are on the border of red and blue. And so I think it's exactly the same. I'm not completely sure of that, but they certainly tend to be on the border. Though, now that I'm thinking about that, the tendency to be on the border could very well just be because most tiles here are on the border, and so the odds of it not being a border tile are actually pretty low. But nevertheless, I think the way that it works out is just that you're basically equally likely to find them on blue as on red. And there might be an element of perception bias of, the grass is always greener on the other side. And that of course informs a lot of the kind of perception effects in this game. I don't want to kill that red slime beast. I really don't. But it looks like I'm going to have to. And so my plan now is to try and use these guys. Actually, we have a way out now. I see a way out, so we're just going to deal with these guys, grab that last elixir, and we will be on our way. So now we do actually want to go after those phoenix feathers, and so we're just going to take a moment to do that, and then we will be ready to wrap things up, more or less. We will have the 30 treasures that we need, and we should probably check the overview just to make sure that everything's squared away properly. I don't completely remember every land's unlock conditions, but I think 30 treasures plus the rubies are what we need. And so I'm gonna, let's see, I don't think we can get to those orbs of safety over there. I think we're not gonna be able to beat that dog to them. So we're just gonna keep going. Keep gathering up phoenix feathers whenever we go near them. And keep looking for an orb of safety. I do want to check the overview, though, just to make sure. So we have the ivory tower unlocked. And it looks like we don't have the overgrown woods, so let's see what we're missing. I'm not that great at searching through this. I'm not really sure what order they come in. There's the overgrown woods, so they need actually 60 treasures. And 10 ruby. Okay, so that means that we just need a little bit more treasure than we would otherwise. I don't think that will take us very long. So I think that we will actually finish that up today. Because we want the 25 phoenix feathers to give us, give us that extra out if we're in a lot of trouble. And also to give us the opportunity to save if we get lost in an area. Because that's something that tends to happen. So let's see, the 25 will put us, I believe, at 45. And so then we can just get, 15 more? I know how to do math. I'm quite good at math. I'm actually working on a math video. It's very difficult to make because it has to be like animated and edited. We actually have all of the phoenix feathers that we need. So we're going to try and find our way into a land where we do not have the treasures we need. And looks like this one doesn't want to let us in. This one I think is a little too dangerous. I don't want to end this run before it begins. It really wants us to check out the Living Fjord, though. So here actually is an icy land. I don't know if we can get to it. Probably not. Oh, there we go. So there... Yeah, that'll actually keep us safe. So now we can start picking up some ice diamonds. And we do actually want 25 of them. It is pretty useful. So I'm going to aim for that. It's a little more dangerous doing that. I mean, it's a little bit safer in that we have those orbs of safety available to us, so the overall useful orb spawn rate will be higher. And I think that's actually something that matters. Because it means that we're more likely, when we get backed into a corner, we're slightly more likely to have that corner actually have something useful in it. And so we're just going to aim for that. So there's our 60 treasures, so the overgrown woods will be spawning now. If one spawns, I'm going to go for it. I kind of doubt that one will because there is, a lot else that can spawn right now. We have a pretty high number of different places that can spawn. Once you cross 60, I remember when the game was not even on Steam yet, most of the lands, there were basically the only tiers were 30 treasures and 60 treasures, and then Hell unlocked at 9 types, and the Graveyard unlocked at 100 kills. And that was when I started playing. That was what was available. And so now there's a lot more different conditions. Why is that? That wolf was having trouble finding us. I don't know how an area got warmed up more than where we were. Because heat dissipates very fast. There used to be a glitch where heat would not dissipate in the icy land if it was not on screen, but now it's just heat dissipates incredibly fast here because of that exponential growth. There's a lot more space for the heat to dissipate into. And I know that exponential growth isn't exactly the right term for what goes on in this game, but I don't really know the most accurate way to describe it, and kind of something that I've been trying to get better about is using communicative descriptions instead of accurate ones. And there was actually XKCD, which is one of my favorite comics, recently posted a comic that was basically talking about that, about how when somebody asks, why is the sky blue, it's actually a lot more useful in a lot of cases to say, because air is blue. Just because the color of air is blue. Whereas it's really common to say because of Rayleigh scattering, which is, it's the reason why air is blue. And it's, it becomes more important when you start talking about why is the sunset red. Because, the air scatters blue light, but it's also, when you have a faraway mountain, you can see that it creates this blue filter over the mountain. And so, saying that air is blue is actually pretty useful. And I actually found out that water is blue. Like, water is inherently blue, which I did not know. And it kind of makes sense. It's something that I had always suspected, because there's a lake near, not too far from here. It's a full day's drive. It's called Crater Lake. It's about a state and a half down from here. But it's a day's drive. It's a place that you can go camping from here if you are really dedicated to it. It's called Crater Lake, and it's one of the deepest lakes in America. And so it's this really intense blue. And people had always told me water is blue because it reflects the sky. But the sky is actually less intensely blue than Crater Lake. And so finding out that water is inherently blue, but very, very faintly blue, actually kind of made that make sense. And kind of, I had always suspected that something like that was going on, but never quite, I had never been able to find confirmation of that. So, yeah, we're right here by an overgrown wood. When we come back, we'll be going into it. And until then, thank you very much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.